We are live.
Hello.
We're here. Welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to another week. Design Unfiltered. So happy to see all these faces, and we have a great guest joining us today. And I'll get to your intro in a moment. But yeah, as always, Joanne Weaver, Erica Fortgang, myself, Jared Treadley here this week. All four of us are in New York, which is pretty rad right now.
Love that.
How often do we get that?
New York.
See? We even have a theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah, excited for everyone to be streaming in. I feel like, Joanne, you've got a burning question you always want to ask right at the start.
What's your favorite flavor of pudding? No, I don't know. I missed your cue, Jared. Oh, I dropped the ball. The ball.
That's all right.
Where is everybody calling in from? Where is everybody calling in from?
We love that.
Yeah.
We're in all different parts of New York too. I love that.
I'm in Manhattan, uptown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're an uptown girl.
I don't have my chalet anymore. If you guys noticed.
Oh.
This is
it was too cold.
Where I live.
It's there in the settings, I think, if you need it back.
No, I think it's better for my internet that we don't have it. So.
Oh.
Gotcha.
What's your place?
Where are you, Diana? Where are you based?
I'm based in Queens, New York. So, yeah, Bayside area.
Love that.
Nice.
Representing.
Yep.
Nice.
And I'm going to forget that wallpaper is giving it away, Joanne, but you kind of have two spots you're usually in. So which spot are you in this week?
I'm in Wonderland sitting on top of a giant mushroom.
I love that.
Yes. Otherwise known as Chester, New York.
There you go. Love it.
Wow.
Yep.
I love it. Also love your nails, Joanne.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Statement.
Yeah, I went to a sci-fi / Twin Peaks music show last week at the Red Pavilion out in Clubland, like way out in Bushwick. And they had a black light on, and my nails were like the second star of the show.
Oh, wow.
Really fun.
I love that.
Now
they're pulling double duty, and they're the star of this show. The gift that keeps on giving.
Appearance down here. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, obviously we have a guest with us today. Very happy to have you here jamming with us. You have an amazing background and experience that's highly relevant, I think, to anyone tuning in, our audience, our community of designers primarily. I think that you have a ton of knowledge that you can share with them. I'll do a quick kind of spiel on some things that I know about yourself, but definitely will benefit from you sharing in your own words too, like some of your background and your experience. But you have been in this space for a decade now, I think, in the recruitment and talent space. You've worked at some highly reputable places where some amazing designers come from, still currently work. You've worked at Code and Theory as a part of the talent team, as a recruiter. You've worked at Work&Co, a very esteemed agency. I think they have a phenomenal reputation for design, and you are responsible for hiring a lot of designers there, amongst a few other skill sets as well, a bit of product, bit of other areas too, but a lot of design. And now you are currently a design recruiter at PayPal, which is incredible. Obviously great timing, because PayPal has been making some huge changes, I think, with their design. I think Rachel Kobitz is an incredible voice in the design community, Chief Design Officer. And I personally have been seeing changes roll out in my PayPal experience and everything like that. So very grateful to yourself for bringing in all those designers who have made those changes to my experience as well. But yeah, welcome to our show. Maybe you could
be here. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I guess I'll start with just kind of saying a little bit about myself. And I originally really quickly started off being an accountant, actually. So
wow.
Yeah, I was at PwC for like a couple of years, and quickly just realized that was not for me. I got an opportunity at Code and Theory as just a recruiting coordinator, to be quite honest, because I knew I wanted to be in that space and I was going to take any chance that I got. And the agency really took a chance on me, which I'm still to this day super grateful for. I didn't have that digital agency background, but I, went above and beyond to kind of like really understand the industry, the landscape, our competitors, because even at that time, back in 2014, Code and Theory itself was a very small agency. It was growing. We had like 80 people at that time when I had started. But we were like, trying to figure it out. We were, recruiting for the brand team. And then I was in industrial design, experimental design, like moving around, and then finally moved into product, which I, loved. It was so much fun. I built so many great relationships with designers. Everybody was super kind and willing to show me the ropes on how to vet portfolios and how to find the right designers. And so through all that, I was able to really move up and quickly turned into a senior recruiter at Code and Theory. Ended up going to Work&Co because I wanted to try something new. Had the privilege to work with the most amazing designers at Work&Co. Code and Theory as well, so don't get me wrong. It was just
not playing favorites.
All were really great, and really learned a lot across the board on how to really understand what to look for when looking at design portfolios, and what are the hiring managers looking for, but also really learning how to understand what the candidates are looking for as well, and white gloving that experience so that we're able to really provide a very comfortable experience where it's seamless, it's streamlined, and also it's not just about work, like the company that I'm working for, but it's also about the candidate's experience. And so you're really going above and beyond to help in that area as well. So now I, after some time at Work&Co, I was there for 6.5 years.
Wow.
A long time.
It's an amazing time, I bet.
It's great. I got the chance to go in-house. I felt like it was the right time to just learn something new, and have been having a blast at PayPal, learning a lot. It's different. Sometimes the profiles that we're looking for are different, and so also learning, but also scaling. We're scaling so quickly, so it's almost like learning how to juggle between the growth and the scale of the company, but also giving them what they're looking for, and also knowing how to vet properly and be able to help the candidates as well.
It's a fine line, isn't it, to have a rigorous enough hiring process to make good informed decisions, but not so rigorous that you are slow, that it takes so long to get people through. It's this balance. Sometimes if it's too fast, it's like, did we really properly vet this designer, and did we give them enough info about us along the way? Do they know what they're signing up for? It's a balance. It's a balance for sure.
It is a fine balance. And I guess I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I would love to.
You don't mind anything.
Unfiltered.
Yes, please.
Hear what how the people are feeling that are listening to us in regards to if you all could rate your most recent interview process on a scale from 0 to 5, based on how human it felt. Like, what score would you give it? I'm curious from my personal selfish reasons. I think with AI,
one would be like bad, low experience, and 5 would be great experience.
Exactly. Yes, that's correct.
It's in the chat. Yeah,
I love that.
Regarding and we're talking about like the humanity of it, like how much was it humanized?
In a world of AI,
exactly.
how human was your interview experience?
Exactly. I've been hearing a lot of feedback, and it's just really curious to see how people are feeling. Everything from just like, when you're starting the interview process and you're hearing that you're being recorded, right? Or when someone is just kind of like having a conversation with you, but maybe doesn't feel like they're hearing you or aligning with you. So just curious to know one.
Yeah, it's such a great question. I mean, I actually had an interview process not that long ago myself. First one in a pretty long time. And I didn't do anything really automated with any of it. It was very like conversational, and even within those conversations, it didn't feel like there was even like a script or boilerplate questions I was asked. It was really just like me getting to know them getting to know me. Very, very just almost sharing more about what we do and how we do what we do. Yeah,
and that was at Shopify?
That was at Shopify, and that was for the talent team. Obviously, that's different than being a designer where you've got a different set of skills you need to showcase and prove. But all in all, I personally had a really strong interview experience. I'd say the only thing I had to do that was a little left of center to an extent was like a really standard like IQ style test. You know, like
really
pick the, which shape in this pattern doesn't belong, like those style of like reasoning questions.
Wow.
I love that.
Which I think is just like a company-wide thing maybe that's in there. You never know. It's like, is this just a leftover from some other time in the process? But I did it, and I sort of was like, oh, I got to do that. I got to remember, I got to do that thing. And I did it kind of late one night. And then once I'd started, I was like, oh, I got to finish it. Why did I start this now? But I got it done, and it didn't seem to even come up. But yeah, that was the only thing that I was like, oh, I got to do that thing. But then I kind of enjoyed it.
Calls you the next day. They're like, Jared, we think your profile would be an excellent fit for some black ops we have going on.
Totally. They didn't call, so I guess I didn't do well enough. My reasoning was too
You're glad they didn't. You're glad they didn't, I think.
Shopify got to keep me. Yeah.
I'm curious from the people in the chat. So Derek, hi Derek. I know Derek from the content design UX writing world as well as the music world. So he's a friend on both sides of the coin. Wonderful musician. So Derek, and then Sean Rosenberger, hello. So both Derek and Sean, you guys gave under average scores. Tommy, you gave like an average score.
In the middle.
I'm curious if you want to share a little bit more about that. Like, why was it a 1? Why was it a 2? Why was it a 3? I think that's really interesting to get a little bit more context on that. If you feel open to it, no pressure.
Yeah. If they are, I would love to know.
And Diana, what's behind the question? Like, are you kind of trying to humanize the process more, or what's?
I am. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot from candidates that they're like, oh, we thought that the process went well, and then all of a sudden, we didn't hear back. And we didn't even know if we got rejected or not. Sometimes I'm hearing like, oh, I'm being recorded, and I'm getting like, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. And I'm afraid to say that I'm not comfortable with that because it might cost me the interview. So there's a lot of these nuances that are coming through. And to me, I think as recruiters, it's so important to humanize the process because it's already very nerve-wracking. And for me personally, from my experience, it's about showing that being able to find that point of empathy where you can meet each other in trust. And so I'm just curious to know, like, if others are experiencing the same, and maybe just walk through about like how we as recruiters can go around it as well, or what some changes that we can do.
Yeah. On that, do you, the three of you have points like, how do you humanize the process more? Do you find yourself trying to ensure like, let's make sure that this is humanized? Like,
I mean, I know that this is something I need to personally work on, is just like the length of time I spend talking to people. But I also know that it's part of, I think, why I have good relationships with my network. I will spend time with them and like really get to know them. And I do pat myself on the back. Like I do get really consistent feedback that like they feel I'm a human being and that it's going to be a good relationship.
I've seen you in the flesh. You are legit. Really.
Whether sometimes half a human. That is also really hard to do. Like there's not enough time in the day. So I think half of my conversations are like, I spoke to someone, actually 2 people this week who both said that they had interviews where there was a video recording. They had to record themselves and like in the process. And I was like, listen, I don't hate that actually. I have been thinking about how do we get better at this and like meet more people and talk to more people. And there just is not enough time. And obviously, I think we all know people in process definitely deserve a response. I think anytime I post something on my LinkedIn that I'm hiring or anyone like even automatic emails that are coming out from companies, or we can't apply or respond to everyone. Their volume is so high. So I don't hate that. I think it's actually good to have a little like 2-minute video. I think they do it a lot for maybe engineering to make sure they're real people, but which I haven't had that problem. But I don't know. They're kind of wondering, is it safe? Is that normal now? And I don't know. What do you guys think about this video?
So it's a video saying like, this is who I am and what I'm all about, or what is the video?
I think it's like they have to introduce themselves kind of like in a little sort of video, or it's a one-way interview, I think, which some of the larger companies have. I mean, I don't know how to really get around that necessarily, just based on the fact that there's so many applications coming in and there's not enough time. And we're not working 8 hours a day, guys. We're working like 10 plus hours a day. Like it's like we're trying. Would love to like, live my life too, but we can't. So
yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that's bad. I do think that could be in a way utilized correctly. I personally also think that maybe, so what I think happens when you have those recordings that you do on your own, and then send them to the company, you do miss out on that relationship building. So you don't know how much trust you have with that, with like, or just like how much, like what amount of what I'm trying to say is like, what is the trust between you and the company, in the sense that will they even get back to you if you recorded this and no one really heard you or saw you? So what do I get out of it if I'm putting this out there? It's almost very like robotic, right? And so there's a sense of like humanity that's missing in that piece. But I do think that as candidates, that should be a form of practice, in my personal opinion. I don't know if that's necessarily something that is a strong way to get people to interview that way. Like, I don't think that to me personally, I think it's still important to have recruiters talk to individuals. I don't of course speak with them to vet them. Because you're really missing out on the human aspect, right? But I do think that is helpful for candidates to learn how to prepare for interviews. I think that there are ways to utilize it differently, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. There's no single solve for some of it. I don't know. I definitely got thoughts on the video thing at the start, especially. I think Shopify did it recently for the Design Apprentice program. It encouraged people to share a short video of themselves. I think with guidance, it maybe helps, but I think in that case, it did show very quickly which designers maybe put in that little bit more of effort as well to go to the effort to complete it. And the same goes with like any type of field within any kind of application. If you're just jumping on there and you're like name, website, and then hitting submit and leaving the rest blank, it's really hard for anyone on the other end to feel like, oh, this person really is interested in us, wants to have a go. Feels very low effort. I think the video sometimes is like maybe an additional way that a company might be saying like, hey, we want to see how interested you might be in us too. It's almost just a flag like that. But there is stuff that's coming out. I don't know where it's going to hit truly, but by recording a video, you then open yourself up to AI can scan that. It can give a score on, what you answered. It can give a score on your tone and personality, your communication skills. It can start to give those scores. And then those scores are obviously fed back to some sort of reviewer. And then we kind of fall down that rabbit hole again, potentially, of this ATS type thing auto rejecting people, and it's like, oh, is the iteration of your speech not, and then we talk about people adjusting their resume for the ATS. Do you have to adjust your I
think what you just said is really interesting, Jared, because if it's a robot giving you a score on your humanity, isn't that a little bit odd, right?
It's hard, yeah.
How can it tell?
Funny.
I mean, I personally think if I am prepping a candidate for an interview and they're going to meet the VP of design, let's say, and there's a talk that VP is given, like on YouTube or wherever, I'll send the candidate the video so they can get a sense of the person talking and their vibe and who they are. Back when I was internet dating, I totally thought I had gamed the system because I was like, I don't even have to get dressed up and go out on the date. I'm just going to have video date. And it was great. It saved all this time because you just get so much communicated over video, the vibe. I mean, there's certain things you can't tell until you're in person, of course, but there's just so much that comes through in video.
Yeah.
I think if it's just a little let me just stick my toe in the pool and just see what this person is kind of what their general demeanor is. Do they kind of seem like they fit in our culture? Are they giving thoughtful, intelligent answers to things? Maybe they're not going super in depth to all the answers yet, but I think it's just kind of a little dropping the handkerchief. Let's get a little sense of each other to see if we want to go to the next stage. I could see that as being useful, but I think so much stock and having some algorithmic bot judge you on all these things without having any human interaction seems like a misstep and just not very accurate.
Right.
Yeah. Start to open yourself up.
A candidate recently say, well, I'm just trying to make sure that my resume matches the keywords so that I get an interview.
Yeah.
And it's almost but why are we not seeing the bigger picture here? It's not the keywords, it's the bigger picture. And I feel like that's what's missing when we lack that human touch, is that bigger picture of the work that these people have done and where they've been and what they've done. I think yesterday we had a conversation with Erica about what happens if there's a gap in someone's, work experience. And it's almost like that's the recruiter's job to get on that call if they see that they have everything else and ask what happened, and so that they can go and be an advocate for them.
Yes.
Not necessarily trying to sell somebody that's not right for the role, but if they have everything and there was a life scenario that happened for them, we have to be able to have those conversations so that we could go to the hiring managers and have those conversations with them and be able to be advocates. And I think that that's the human touch. That's where we're missing.
Yeah. And I think you are especially strong at that. And I think everyone here on this channel, that's part of why we've probably been in this game all now for a decade plus, is because we are discerning. We look for those things. We look for that human part and have that understanding that, okay, I still see a reason to speak to this person, or I can see that, but I couple it with this. Those things are really important. I think sometimes the challenge in our recruitment space is not everyone's as experienced as that yet. We're all coming from 10 years now and more of experience. You don't always land at that earlier in your recruitment career, and it can be harder. So sometimes that sentiment to me makes me feel more like we need to help our fellow recruiters as well, be more open-minded, more just find the good in people too, to find the reasons to have those conversations. Because I know it's frustrating for the designers. We can see it right now in the comments. It's challenging people to get those conversations.
I think I can't click on. So can someone click on Tommy's response here?
Yep.
Thank you. This one says, the one interview I've had with the past talent manager screening was good, very conversational. I thought went well. Then silence, which is where the experience felt cold and impersonal. I sent a follow-up about a week later that triggered a standard form email rejection. Not being a fit is fine, but I would have loved some feedback or at least an email from the person I interviewed with.
Yeah.
So I think, dissecting this, obviously this is what keeps happening. And when I like to sort of peel back, what's really happening? And I think what it is we're not allowed to give, we can give feedback, but there's a problem. You can't internally maybe give feedback. And I also do really feel like it just always comes back to communication. There is something about internal someone, they can't tell you everything, right? Or they don't know how to just like respond to an email, and I think maybe they're embarrassed or they don't know what to say, and then it just like gets weeks go by or days go by, and then okay, I'll just trigger the email response because I'm like mentally out of this conversation now. And that's not okay. Like, that's not okay. And I just think it just really I'm such an advocate for like strong communication and learning, and, you know, work with a coach, please. Like anyone, like a business coach, go to therapy, do something, like learn how to just like have those hard conversations. I do feel there's a way to give feedback that's constructive. The other day, I got an email. I mean, I'm like getting constant ones because I'm hiring for so many things. Somebody sent me for a fintech role that I have on, and yes, in theory, they have the experience, but I know my client is not going to be right. So I said, I'm so sorry. I don't always respond, but I did try to. And I said, I'm so sorry. It's not going to be the right fit this time. Thank you so much. I'll reach out when, you know, something else comes in. And they actually immediately responded and said, is there anything I'm not aware of in my experience that I don't have based on what I had described?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you know, I'm going to get like, it's just, you have a specific retail background. It's not quite the right fit. And these are the companies that are being targeted, and it's not fair. But like, at least, and I think that was really positive because they were like, oh, thank you so much. That's it. One line.
Yeah.
And I just don't think a lot of people really do that. But I think, yeah, I don't know. I think that's the problem, is that people are uncomfortable with rejection or told not to say any feedback. And I think that there's a way to learn how to do that, honestly.
Be able to receive feedback though too. I think
of course.
Within our experiences, I bet we've tried to give that feedback over the years or tried to be constructive, and it's fucking kicked us in the fucking ass. I've definitely had that. You know?
I think it has, but I don't think anyone's learned. Like, people aren't learning from it. Like, they're not going to ever learn unless they get something. And I think maybe you preface that. Maybe you say, "Hey, I want to tell you, but can you promise not to hit me?" Like, I don't know.
But
like,
if
I'm going to record this.
Is not interested in receiving feedback, we'll say like, "Hey, like, you're not a go for this role. Are you open to hearing feedback?" If it's like pretty easy, high level, I don't think it's going to be super upsetting feedback. Sometimes I'll just email it.
Yeah.
I've made the mistake, including recently, of emailing feedback that probably should have been communicated verbally.
Right.
So I think that's another just kind of judgment call of like, when should he pick up the phone and just actually like give them the feedback and be really human about it? So I think that's important. But when a candidate is not interested in receiving feedback, to me, that's not maybe a red flag, but it certainly is an orange flag where I'm like, like, you don't want to learn about yourself, or you're not curious how you might be landing. And not that it's the truth about you, right? Like, it's not the be all end all truth of you, but aren't you curious to know how you might be landing so that you could improve in the future? Yeah. That's just how that lands on me.
Yeah. I think as a recruiter, I think there's multiple angles to this. I think if a candidate is already going through all their rounds and they're at final round, I think the recruiter owes it to the candidate to tell them what happened.
Yes.
And I think that in that aspect, I think it's important for the recruiter to also push on the hiring manager to give them at least some information on where it fell flat, or like look through the feedback and just be able to curate a feedback for the candidate that they can handle. I think that's important. Sometimes, you won't get that feedback and it's just a no, but you want to make sure that you have it. I think if it's just like first rounds or second rounds, I personally will usually send a decline, but not necessarily say why unless they ask. Because like you said, they're not interested in the feedback. I might not be interested in giving it to them, right. And then it's also a fine line because you just never know how they're going to receive it. So you want to be mindful of that. You want to be mindful of the company that you're working for and how you're presenting them as well. And so there's a lot there. But ultimately, I do think that it is the recruiter's job to give them a reason why. You don't have to go into details of like where their shortcomings are, but you could also phrase it in a way where it's like, these are areas of growth, maybe make it more positive, but yeah, I think it is the recruiter's job. And I think personally, I can do more of it. I always can do more of giving that feedback back. Yeah.
I find, and I'm certain that you would be an advocate of this, Diana, and you too, Erica, and Joan, I'm sure as well. But like, when people do say no, when we're working with that manager, that design leader, and they say, "Oh, this person's not it," we often don't just go, "Oh, okay," especially if it's later stages. Especially if they've been through multiple rounds, some more intensive rounds, portfolio review, whiteboard, whatever it might be. They've done things like that, and then a group is saying, "No, this isn't, the person for the role." We don't just go, "Oh, okay, guess we'll pop down to aisle 7 and grab another one off the shelf." It's like, okay, like, why?
Yeah.
Why wasn't this person it? And I feel pretty strongly if my design leader can't articulate that clearly enough for me, if I can't come away from that going, "I see exactly what you're saying. That makes total sense. Okay, great. I will realign what we need, but I'll also go back to that designer now, have a very clear reason why this didn't line up, and we can discuss that and end the process." If I can't walk away from that call with that clarity, it's like, that's not really enough for me. And I don't accept it. And so there is, look, great design leaders. I saw Clint in the channel there as well. They take the time to both give the feedback, but are very thoughtful about how to articulate it, because they are calculated. They know what they're hiring for. They understand what it is, and then they can feed it back, and they can put that into words for you, which then you can feed back to that designer. Less experienced design leaders, not so good at that a lot of the time. And maybe there's a bit of back and forth. Okay, can you break it down? Like, so they didn't go deep enough. Is it, did you not look at this, or what didn't they show? Or, I'll ask more follow-up questions, and I'll find a shared language with that leader of how we can get to some moment of clarity on it. But yeah, trust me, I feel like designers out there need to remember, like, everyone in this room is really hoping and trying that you can get a job.
Yeah.
No one gives up easily. It's very difficult to hire great designers. It's not simple and easy. And when you get someone close to the line, it's not as simple. Oh, okay, on to the next. It doesn't feel that way. Everyone's trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
And those design leaders want it to happen. They want designers. They need designers.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's trying to get a win, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll ask for, even if the client likes the person and wants to move them forward, I'll say, great, why? Why did you like them? Why wasn't it
about them?
Right?
Right.
So like, every single bit of information helps us do our jobs better, right? Like, if we know what is landing or not landing, that's great. And then also, when I'm getting positive feedback from a candidate and they're going to go on to the next round, I want to share that with them so they know it's landing and they feel engaged. They feel seen in the process. Like, oh, wow, like they see me. That's everybody's basic need.
That's a human touch within it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one thing I've learned over the years, and that's definitely my personality, is like, when I get initial positive feedback after round 1 for someone, I like deliver that because I want them to be excited too. And then if it doesn't work out, then I feel like shit, honestly, that I like maybe got them a little too excited, or was giving like too much something, and then like the end at like feels worse, I guess. So I don't know. I've noticed sometimes, I don't know. I try to do that, or I try to give them all the information. Oh, this person was rejected because of these reasons, and so like, don't do that this time. And like, I'm trying to give every possible thing to someone. Ultimately, they're going to the interview, not me.
Yeah.
But the rejection hurts all of us. Like, truly, I've cried so many times because I really believe in everyone, and that's why we're here, right? We're here to tell their story and to get them over the line, or at least get a meeting. But I do notice that myself. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm so excited because I'm like, yay, I know what I'm doing. I think, and hopefully this is the right person for them. But then something happens, not a fit. I do try to give the feedback, obviously, but it's hard for me to like kind of have like no face, like hold back.
Yeah, I know. It's so hard in this market too, right? It's like so many people, so many candidates, and I'm sure you guys have heard this too, are like, oh my God, I made it through the final rounds and like 5 different processes. And I was always the second one. I was always second best and I never got it. But this is probably very unhealthy psychologically, but I think that there might be some usefulness in just trying to compartmentalize this process and to not take it personally. I think that actually is psychologically healthy, is to not make it mean anything about the truth of who you are.
Right.
Rather, it's information about the market, and it's information about maybe like your candidate market fit, to use a phrase from Never Search Alone. What is your candidate market fit? Like, you are the product, you're out there marketing yourself. What is the best fit for you? Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Gianna, all the places you've worked in the last 10 years, like phenomenal designers that are there, really high bar for what they do. I think they're, arguably some of the best in the biz. Do you think part of it was always humanizing the experience too? Like, was there secret sauce to how those places hired great designers in some ways, or little things that you think helped along the way?
Yeah, well, I definitely think that throughout my career, it's always been, the focal point was always to white glove the experience.
Yeah. High touch.
Always keeping, building those relationships, keeping those relationships.
Yep.
I also do think that within the design world, now maybe this is my personal opinion, but I do think that designers know each other. And so in a way, they love to go to companies where their friends are and stuff like that. And so once you kind of get the ball rolling and you're bringing in designers, they're bringing their friends, and then it's kind of like, it's like a
snowball. Yeah.
Snowball. Thank you. Oh my gosh. And so I do think that that's a piece of it too. I think the culture within companies is important. I think especially for designers, I do think that they enjoy working with each other, or spending some time here and there. I think everybody does, right? It's just it's a part of working somewhere 9 to 5 or 40 hours a week. You want to have like a family base, and I think that that's a piece as well. But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but I do think that all of those things are part of how you could get great talent.
I have a question for you too, just because you've been, at these very high-end agencies for a long time. You're, relatively fresh. You're 7 months into your PayPal career. Is there anything, that's been kind of interesting or surprising or unexpected about maybe even going client side, like being a recruiter on the client side versus agency side, or anything about like maybe PayPal's process in particular? You don't have to, break any NDAs, but just
trade secrets.
But curious if there's been anything that's been kind of interesting for you being on that side of the coin.
Excuse me. I do think that the way that we're looking at designers is a little bit different. I think when you're in-house, I think there's certain hiring managers that are open to people from agencies, and then there's certain hiring managers that want people from fame companies and stuff like that. And so, everybody's always looking for that 0 to 1 experience. And being able to kind of adapt to that, because I do think agencies do have that 0 to 1 experience as well, depending on the kind of work that they're doing, the product work they're doing. And agencies, I know Work&Co did 0 to 1 stuff. And so it really just, I think that really understanding the landscape in a little bit of a different way, because you have some designers that have only worked on features, and at agencies we're like, we want like a bigger picture. And then when I'm at in-house, I'm like, oh, well, they did this feature, but they did it from 0 to 1. Like, so it's like learning just like the lay of the land of how designers are specialized, right? When you're looking for them in-house versus agency.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. It's all of the great design. Yeah. Sorry, Erica. Go on.
No, you go.
I was just making a comment. You're right.
I think I was gonna. I don't even know. I think I was gonna say, how do you communicate with these hiring managers who might say no to an agency, and like, what does that conversation look like? Are they able to articulate it clearly to you as to like what their reasoning is, I guess? Or I don't know, I'm just curious.
Yeah, some do articulate why, and I hear them and I understand. And then there's certain times where I then present cases of certain agencies that I am aware of that have had that product built, that know that have done product builds from 0 to 1, and have had designers on starting from pitches, moving them all the way to, shipping it, and then even staying on after it's shipped. So I am aware of, because I've been within the agency world for so long, I'm aware of certain agencies do that. And so by being able to talk about that, able to share my experience and what I've seen, and be able then to show portfolios that do show that 0 to 1 work, and having them on a call with them, being then open for them to finding that flexibility, like, okay, I guess, I'll talk to them, and then realizing, oh, wow, they actually do have what we're looking for. So it's a fine line, but it's really because of my experience within working within agencies that has helped me know
That's awesome.
Insider landscape for agencies.
It's so helpful. It's so, I get it. I think everyone's trying to move so fast. Everyone's so bogged down with so much work, and everyone's trying to arrive at decisions really quick. And to get to decisions quick, you use, things that you think you already know. And sometimes for certain design leaders, they might just make that presumption, or agency is not really what we want. And so just seeing it, it's just an automatic, quick way to save time and go, no. And it's like, well, hold on, we've got to show the work, and you actually asked for this, and this has that. So I just need you to forget the name where they worked for a minute, or that it was an agency, but just go a layer deeper and actually have a look at the work. And I just think that goes back to a lot of what you were saying earlier, and yourself, Erica, of just really looking beyond sometimes the surface level, or that first, the resume, the quick portfolio. It's like, go a bit deeper and actually look at what this person did, what they've done, try to understand them. I get it. It's just a product of trying to save time, where people just, if they're coming from these 10 companies, they're probably good. We'll just go with that. Sure, but they don't have to have come from those 10 companies. They could come from somewhere else.
Right. If that's what they want, then just hire a bot that'll spit out resumes from those 10 companies, as opposed to working with us, who are actually getting interviews with the people. Right.
Tell us, Joanne. Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hire a bot. Just get the bot.
Yeah. It really surprises me that some hiring managers don't want to hire from agencies, considering so many in-house companies that have great design or have created great design have designers from agencies. So it's really interesting to see that.
And Diana, are there things that you look for? I mean, this could be just kind of general things that you've always looked for in portfolios, including at PayPal. Maybe it's, obviously you're probably looking for like different things, like actual, certain types of products, like maybe it's mostly fintech, and maybe for agency world, it was, CPG or whatever it might've been. So maybe the actual actual industry was different, but are there certain things that you've always looked for in portfolios that really stand out to you, like things that are just like, the do's versus the do's and the don'ts?
Yeah, I think they're like the 4 W's. Have you guys heard of this? Or maybe it's just a thing that
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe it's working.
Right on us. World Wide Web.
The wacky World Wide Web.
So it's who. So the first one is who. So who is the designer, right? So what kind of design are they doing? Is it product, visual content, whatever? Also, what is their background? What is their strengths? And then just clarity on the role, what kind of designer they are, right? And then the what. What did they design or contribute? And you could see all this you should be able to see all this in the portfolio. So what did they design or contribute to? So what were the projects? What were they solving for? What was the business need, right? What were the tools and the methods that they were using? And then so the third one is the why. Why did they make those decisions when they were building the product? So what was the user or business problem? And then why did they choose these particular design directions? And then the fourth one is what was the impact of the product that they were building, right? So what was the outcome? What was metrics and stuff like that?
Anything like that.
So do you like a portfolio then that has like a well done process?
So this you should be able to see. Yes, I would love to see, like when I'm looking at the process. I'm not looking for it to be too wordy. I just want to know what they've done, what part of the project they worked on, because sometimes you'll have someone building it and they're claiming that they led the project, but maybe there was somebody else. You never know. Those are little things. I would keep an eye out for. The way to track that, a quick secret, consistency of their other work, right? So you see the design differences. If they're saying let's say a designer thought that they said that they led something and maybe they didn't. But anyway, I digress. It's really about, just basically what did they work on? What was the product? What was the, just their decision for the build, and what were the outcomes? And so being able to see that through, while also keeping the visual aesthetic, up to par, I think is important. I personally love to see people show both app work and web.
I think are valid.
To have both. High fidelity prototypes. And just being able to show design system thinking, right? Like, and also visual aspects of it.
That's huge. Those are big nuggets. I feel like, there's a lot of questions out there of what to put in it, what to show, and there's definitely no one size. How to show it. I don't think there's a one size fits all with it, but there is some like table stakes that you've got to have, I think, within reason. If you don't, it's really hard to see the reason to speak to someone. Well, there's got to be some massive spike within it that, I'll definitely, if there's a portfolio that's super visual with motion and interaction and it's specifically on products, but they're not telling me a lot of like why they did it. They're not really case studies. It might spike so hard in the visual. And from what I'm seeing at the product, there's some level of like functionality to it. It still might give me a signal of like, okay, this isn't a case study and I don't know what you actually did here or what the results were of this product, but I can see it's got a high level of craft and attention to detail. It's spiking really high there. That's still enough evidence to go, I think I want to have a conversation with that person.
Yeah, for sure.
And that, so I try to get it all in, but if you spike somewhere, it helps.
Yeah, I think I might be like biased, but I feel like if they have strong visuals, I'll almost always jump on a call with them because
it's hard to find.
Share their design systems like work, or like their case studies can show additional work that maybe they can't share. I do think that it's important to share as much as you can, if you can, because that could cost them from moving forward. But I'm always curious because I'm like, if the visuals look great, and I'll jump on a call and see what's up. And sometimes they're just more focused on brand, and that's good to know, right? But
how many case studies do you want to see in a portfolio?
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, usually 2. And
two.
Yeah, okay. 2. At PayPal, it's 2. And I think that at Work&Co was 2 as well. So
that's much smaller than I thought it would be. That's great. That's great. Yeah.
One thing I really like to tell people now, because I think the problem is that you have some people who just share the end visuals, but like no context. And then you have some people who show like all the context and it's like hard to follow.
Yeah.
I always say like when it's your project, you were in the project. We weren't in the project. So you know your project like backwards and forwards, hopefully. Hopefully you also know how to communicate that in a 2-minute blip when asked. But the way that some people write is so almost like it's like highly professional. But I also feel like the way I always say, like, just talk to us like we're in 5th grade, like a very easy, like this was the problem, and sort of like how you would literally tell a child, or like how would you explain to like your grandparents what you do, right? Like very easy and simple. And I think that will help, and also condense like the wording down and have the visuals there.
Yeah, it's more digestible too, and you can actually just have it be in real language, like you can actually get it, right?
Yeah.
Make a joke, make us laugh. We like that.
Don't try to be James Joyce in there, peeps.
I think. Sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I also just remembered, I think another important aspect for portfolio reviews is the portfolio easy to maneuver? Like, is it
navigate? Yeah.
Thank you. What's the user experience with that portfolio? Like, sometimes hiring managers like, I can't even get through the first page. I'm done with it. Like, they don't waste too much time, So,
yeah.
Just
I push that discernment sometimes. I agree. I want ease of navigation for sure, because I want to find what I'm looking for. If it's too hard, it's a bit like, oh, what's going on here? But there's been a couple of times where, I've seen within a group chat, within Slack, maybe a group of design leaders reviewing a portfolio, and someone might comment on something like some navigation or that they didn't like the layout necessarily. And if I feel like maybe that was just their personal opinion, I'll always kind of push back and say, sure, okay, is that just your personal vibe on this? Did anyone else, find that? Because there is a difference too of just like what I might like versus what someone else might like. And obviously within that, you can have inherently terrible navigation too, that there's no coming back from. But yeah, again, I do think I want to remind people, like, recruiters are trying to discern between like personal taste sometimes, and also just like, is this actually terrible, or did you just personally not love it? And maybe a different team does love it, or a different hiring manager maybe likes it. So
I think
it's hard. Poor designers.
I think last time we talked about like a website versus like maybe a Figma or a deck or something. And I think like the key difference, of course, is, when you're on a website, you are sort of, unless you've built it yourself, which I don't know that I recommend, honestly, if you're not like a coder. If that's not your job, please don't do it. But the format, or what is the word I'm looking for, is that's kind of what you are stuck with necessarily, right?
Yeah.
But I do also think that anyone who does it in a deck, like, you can totally control how that looks because you're designing it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that comes off to me a little bit better as long as I can open it and load it.
I agree with you. I think like I get the Figma files and the case decks, and I love them. It's just easy to navigate, and it's so quick.
I do 20 pages.
Yes, not 150, please. Please.
Google Drive link, you have to download a 350 meg
Oh my
file.
gosh. I know. Well, we're coming up on the last 7 minutes of our session. Oh my gosh, this just flew by. How fun.
Jeez.
So I want to take some questions, or we want to take some questions from our lovely audience members here. So I want to put up a question from Derek Haugen. As a UX writer and content designer searching for great orgs to work for, I see more roles for engineers and UX designers. I'm currently working on improving my visual design and coding skills to be more relevant, and I like it. So the first question is, do you see the design field shrinking for writers with AI? I guess with the advent of AI coming on board and other roles taking on the writing responsibilities. And number two is, what big picture skills and personality separates a promising candidate from a successful hire? Okay, so the first question is, do you see the design field shrinking for writers with AI and other roles taking on the writing responsibilities?
Yes.
Really?
I mean, I wouldn't say that writers are going away at all, but I would say teams' headcount and allocation for that role, I would say it's less today than it was a year ago. Yes.
I want to just, Derek, just let you know that PayPal has a couple of content designer roles open. So
that's why you're here, mate.
Either reach out to me or apply. I think what's happening with content design, from what I'm seeing, is it's being incorporated like into like agentic content design, or but that's so new that I don't think that people are expecting someone to come in and know how to incorporate agentic with content or AI with content. But as long as they show that they have interest in learning AI and have done it on their own time, and can talk about it, I think that's important. And I think that can, if you are presenting or talking in an interview, mentioning that can go a long way.
That's awesome. All designers, I think, are being a little bit expected to supercharge themselves
Yeah.
Whether you're a product designer, visual, UX, and then writing too. It's, you've got to be a great writer that's also using this tooling to be a supercharged writer in a way.
And I also feel like I feel like so much of the UX writing job is like, aside from the writing itself, and it's more about selling in content design and UX writing to the organization, right? So it's like proving its worth, right? So I think that can never be replaced by AI, agentic or otherwise. So I mean, I think that's always going to be a skill that's really needed, especially when you get to the upper levels of content.
Yeah.
Great point. Question 2, what big picture skills and personality separates a promising candidate from a successful hire? It's a tough one. I don't know if there's like single things to call out. Guys got any ideas?
I guess I would say like someone who's hands-on and willing to,
Sure.
I guess that's basic one, but I also think being able to have those leadership skills in regards to presenting to stakeholders, I think is so
communication skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, those communication skills.
So critical. Yeah.
I think I have seen people not make it because of that. And I just think that that's so important.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest communication gaps you're seeing, and what do you think some fixes could be?
I think talking with clarity and conviction sometimes, believing in what you're saying, although you probably worked on it and you do believe it. But I mean, insecurities are insecurities. It comes through. Being able to have a conversation with someone that you might think is a stakeholder and be able to have a point of view.
Yep.
Knowing that this person is, whether it's a hiring manager or a partner or even a CEO, you just, that comes with experience, I do believe. So practice.
Yeah. Yep.
I know. I always tell people if they're going to give like a panel presentation to a cross section of people, we always, both Rebecca, my business partner, and I are always just like, practice it out loud, right? Like like that's so key to practice it out loud, because you can really practice for time, because you get nervous. It's nerve-wracking. Interviews are so organic and weird, right? So it's like a very stressful situation. So you're, just plan on the fact that you're probably going to be stressed out. You might ramble and kind of take a lot of side tributaries. So the more you can practice, just get it really tight and really concise. And to your point, Diana, just like really clear, like, is it landing?
Yeah.
I think that's so important. But the out loud piece is such a crucial piece of that, I think.
I tell people to record themselves, because and then you can it's like watching back sports tape, right? Like you sort of see like what went wrong. It's hard.
Yeah. And I'm seeing it like usually be like, oh, if you're a director or principal, it's a must. But now I'm seeing it for
back down the levels. Yeah. That's an interesting point. I want to highlight, Sean, I feel like some of this falls into the bigger picture. I've been asked a few times in interviews, what is my AI workflow? I think that's where it's going. I think you have to expect you're going to be asked that. And if you don't have an answer to it yet, like, even if you're just practicing in the bedroom, you've got to show some level of curiosity and move towards this tooling. I think it's not going away for designers, and regardless of whether you think it can do the job of a designer or not, I don't think anyone's saying it can, but I think you've got to supercharge yourself with it. And designers that aren't playing with it, I don't know. I think you're going to fall behind. It'd be like ignoring Figma and saying, no, it's never going to take off.
Right, they're almost on to the next thing now, right? It's like Figma's going to be in the rearview mirror soon enough, honestly, with some of this tooling. So no, I don't think anyone's going to push you and say this tool's better than that tool, because the jury's out on all of them. But you've got to be playing with some tools. You've got to be trying and experimenting and doing something, and start to have that opinion and communicate that opinion. Well, my workflow is this because of these reasons, and I do it this way and I get these results.
Yeah. You can also, crucial. I think I said this yesterday, if you have an older project that you did 6 years ago, pre-AI, then redo it and with something today, and sort of show like the 2.0 version, what you would have done now or differently, and just kind of like play around, like make up stuff, literally, like, some little thing. I don't know.
I think as long as you're saying that you're making it up, right? You don't want it to pass.
Yeah, of
Oh,
course. Like
confidence real work,
my playground, or
yeah.
like
I like
if
that.
you're out of
Yeah.
if you're out of work, like what have you been up to, and sort of show us something.
I love that. I love that. I just want to highlight Stephen Fritz. Hello, Stephen Fritz. I've known him for forever and a day. He says, video your rehearsal with a Zoom. It's a game changer. So yes,
Totally.
So Erica, to your point. Yes.
Great design leader, Stephen Fritz. You are doing some really interesting stuff on the AI front. So if you're interested in AI and where it's going, I think connect with Stephen and follow his work for sure.
Yes.
He has some really interesting viewpoints, I think, on where AI is going.
And where design plays in the whole AI conversation too, especially.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. Love it. I think we're at time, guys. This was amazing.
Yeah.
Burn through it. Thank you so much. Reminder that, connect with each other in the chat. If you have questions we didn't get to, like ping us anytime as well. Derek, make sure you reach out to Gianna on content roles as well.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone, as always.
It's so fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being with us, Diana. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
All right.
Yay.
Cheers, everyone. Bye. Bye.